The decision to take Fried out for Weaver is the talk of the town. JJ, what was your take on that decision?
I absolutely, positively hated it. I absolutely hated it. Look, Max Fried was throwing a brilliant, virtuoso, Andy Pettitte-esque type of start performance for the Yankees, working in and out of trouble, pitching into the 7th inning. I see the 8-9 hitters coming up. This is not the middle of the Boston Red Sox order. Can we allow Max Fried to give up a base runner in that spot before we're rushing to a bullpen? That's not exactly channeling their inner Stanton, Nelson, and Mariano Rivera, okay? The idea in these best of threes is you go and pay a starter a gazillion dollars like Max Fried. Let him go and cook. Let him go and work himself into trouble. We're rushing to go to the bullpen. You're rushing to go to Luke Weaver, who's been unable to get anybody out in the month of September. Those are the results.
Yeah, and you spend all season long getting ready to unleash the Bulldog in the postseason. That's why you were temperamental with Max Fried. You didn't want to push him too much. And then he delivers one of his most mechanical and efficient outings that we've seen from him as a Yankee so far. Maybe his best. Take a look at this. The pitch variation that Fried showed in this one. The curveball, the cutter, the changeup, the fastball, the sweeper, the sinker. All of them hit double digits in terms of how many times he turned to it. You see on the right-hand side, those plus stats? That's how many miles an hour above his season average he was in terms of velocity. So he was positive on every single one of those pitches. He threw 7 different pitches all together, and he was great with them. You talked about Luke Weaver, 9.64 September ERA. So even if you want to make the argument that Fried was cooked, he ran out of gas, which I didn't think he did, they turned to the wrong guy. And it showed that the Yankees have serious bullpen questions, even if they do make it out of this particular series.
That's the biggest problem, because you eventually have to get to the bullpen. He's not throwing a complete game, and he's not going all the way to Bednar. So who do you choose from? Because they don't have a lot to choose from out there in the bullpen. All right, guys, other aspects of this game, the small plays always loom large in Yankee Red Sox postseason games. And, John, that was certainly the case with Nick Sogard taking second on Aaron Judge in the 7th.
Yeah, it certainly was. And it's another year where fundamentals often get exposed with the Yankees. Now, we do know that Aaron Judge has come into this postseason hampered by the arm injury, and the Red Sox did their scouting. They recognized that if there was ever an opportunity to take advantage of Aaron Judge, they were going to do that. But the Yankees also, Eamon, lead the league in situations like this, whether it's a pop fly and tagging from first to second or teams stealing opportunities from them. That's one of their deficiencies, and it's just those fundamentals coming into play, and the Red Sox had it scouted out well.
And obviously the way it goes with the Red Sox and the Yankees in 2025, he gets in scoring position and comes around and scores. All right, the Yanks, of course, had that chance. They had a chance in the first with 2 on, and then, of course, in the bases loaded, nobody out in the 9th. JJ, were you expecting another Stantonian postseason moment there against Chapman?
I sure was, and if you could draw up a hitter that you would want up with the game on the line in the bottom half of the 9th inning, it is the new Mr. October for the New York Yankees, Giancarlo Stanton. And as brilliant as he was in the ALCS last year against Cleveland, for all the big hits he has had for the New York Yankees over the years, this was not a great game 1 for Mr. Stanton. First inning of this game, has a chance to go and wreck it, grounds into the double play, and you got Aroldis Chapman on the ropes. You get 3 consecutive hits. Aaron Judge comes through with a BB hit. Bellinger dunks one in. I'm thinking Stanton's going to hit one to Monument Park, and it's going to be a party to the wee hours of the night at Yankee Stadium. But you knew once he failed to do the job with the 2 lefties they had coming up, advantage Red Sox, and not good enough for the Yankee bats.
You know, Yankee fans are used to seeing Aroldis Chapman sweat. They're not used to seeing him getting out of a jam like that with 3 straight outs. All right, Jazz Chisolm was not in the starting lineup. Reporters tried to ask him about it afterwards, but he never really faced them in an odd clubhouse scene. So, John, how bad a look is this for Chisolm?
I recognize the frustration that he's dealing with here, because the reality is he was one of the Yankees' better hitters this season, and in the postseason you would go figure that even if you are going to try to play the matchups, you want to put the best players out there. He wasn't out there. We know he's a fiery character, but it doesn't send a great message, especially when the Yankee season is on the line in this next game, and he has to come out there now on Wednesday. He's got to go deep. He's got to come through with a big hit, because you got to imagine, JJ, that that's sending quite a poor message to the rest of his teammates.
Well, John, he had an opportunity to come through.
Very much so.
He did come into the game in the bottom half of the 9th inning and didn't do the job against Chapman. And look, I love the flair. I love the bravado that Chisolm brings to the table. I think it's refreshing in Yankee land. but you have to be a professional. That is as unprofessional as it gets after a playoff game. Eamon, I know you know this. I know you know this. The Yankees benched Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez, and Wade Boggs in Game 3 of the '96 World Series. Could you imagine those three guys turning their back and saying, I'm not going to face members of the media? Wade Boggs had 3,000 hits and found his way to the Hall of Fame. You got to be better, Jazz Chisolm.
Yeah, no, a bad look for Jazz Chisolm, and now the Yankees season on the line in Game 2 with Carlos Rodon on the hill.